Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I want to share with you this node setup made using Sverchok add-on. Basically, that creates this kind of, I call it like a basic jelly cup design. Of course, this is like something that you can still tweak at any time if you like to make it thicker or things like that. If we look at the reference, um, normally the jelly cup, plastic jelly cup looks something like this. So it's a little bit more advanced if you want to design it exactly like that. But for now, we're gonna do a basic one. There's basically similar to actually like a cupcake holder. This is also something that you can actually create procedurally. I've seen it being generated using animation nodes at some point. This should be a good exercise for Sverchok, but for now I'll do something that's even more basic than this. And basically, we start with two shapes. Like just for this, what I did here basically, I start with something that looks like a circle basically, and then a star at the top, and kind of doing the lofting extrusion, and then fill out the bottom part. So the node tree looks something like this. So like I said, I start with a circle, of course, and here we have control over the number of vertices of the circle. The minimum actually, I think 4, depending on the actual star you want to have, the flower. 6 or 8. I think 8 is a good number, or probably 4. So we have 8, but we need to control the star. For now, I'll just leave it at 8. So we have the star and the circle, and then the extrusion, everything already happening. And really, if we just bake it, we get these shapes. And then when you get these shapes, you can simply kind of like smooth it, or perhaps you add like a bevel beforehand. So bevel, and just put it before the smoothing. So you kind of get the jelly cup design, even though it's not like totally perfect for now. It's like the basic shape for now. So let's see how I did it. Circle, and I have this control. This is actually for the offset for the bottom part. Can leave it at 0, and then we have this thing to kind of offset the scale of the circle at the bottom. But what's more important is the star shapes. So here I'm actually using a list mask and basically selecting every other points, and here I'm able to kind of generate the star shapes. There's actually there's a question at Blender Stack Exchange that I was looking the other day, and this is how I got the idea. So Leandro asked how to create a star extrusion from a circle in Blender modeling. So of course you can do it in edit mode and do it this way. All the answers already answered. However, I like to do it using nodes. So this is how I actually do it. The star and the circle should have the same number of points, so you can kind of extrude it. The in-between currently is very linear, but you can have like more divisions and get a kind of like a rounded shapes. It's gonna be a little bit nicer in terms of modeling topology. But here we go. This is like so you start with a circle and selecting every other points. We have already done this in the past, so we can create this. There's actually another method to generate the star using like a vertex splitting, but maybe that's for another video. So this is kind of pushing the star. This is to offset the star. Originally it's something like this, so you can have this kind of flowery shapes. And this is another offset multiplier, but I combine the two, the circle and the star. join it and then use UV connections. This will do the job actually to add things like the cupping. Let me check. List join, mesh join, remove doubles. So there is actually the bottom part and the top parts kind of separate. So originally it's looking something like this. Just you can kind of cup the bottom part, but you're gonna cup the top part as well. So I don't use this for now. Instead of doing that, I'm actually separating the bottom part and just this lofted part. So we end up with something like this, which is our final result. You can actually do further things here, like solidify or beveling. You can do it all inside Sverchok if you like, if you don't want to use the modifier in Blender. So bevel probably will give us something. So it's looking something like this, more like a flower. Sometimes you do want like maybe vertex only, or maybe not. So that's a little bit nicer, and then you just add a solidify. Of course, this is like adding like just extra detailing. So that's Sverchok solidify, and that's actually generating something that's more like a 3D. But usually I like to do it using modifier, but it's totally up to you. I think this is kind of valid as well. I think here what's missing is probably the detailing in between the circle and the star, but I guess this is just a quick idea, simple basic setup that you can study and take apart, and maybe you further modify and enhance it to actually create the jelly cup or a cupcake. So yeah, so hopefully this is useful for you. Let me know what you think, if any comments, any feedback, suggestion, and I'll try to improve it in the future. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye.